If you've ever had a sinus headache, you know how painful and uncomfortable it can be. Well, I've got 5 tips for sinus headaches. Okay, tip number 1 is to try something called CABO. These are my favorite herbal medicines that actually help to clean up the microbiome, and they can fight off some of those unwanted organisms, which often are sitting in the sinuses and are often the culprit when you're talking about especially chronic sinus headaches. So these herbal medicines, CABO stands for Cloves, Artemisia, black walnut, and oregano. And I like the whole plant of the oregano, not just the oregano oil drops, because they can be a little bit hard on your liver. So this combination is something that I've used successfully for years to help with chronic issues with microbiome related and unhealthy organisms in the body. Okay, tip number 2 is to try some probiotics. Now, probiotics, of course, we can get from our natural healthy environment, being outside, but also eating foods that are high in probiotics can be really helpful for your microbiomes. So one of the foods that I love is sauerkraut, so naturally fermented, and helps to give you some really good probiotics naturally, as well as kimchi. That's a more sort of spicy form of that sauerkraut. And of course, you can take a high quality probiotic supplement as well. This is something that I do recommend, though, that you do your research on those. Okay, number 3 on my list is doing some lymphatic drainage. Really important to drain the lymph in the area of the head and the neck to help to relieve those sinus headaches. And I've got other videos on that. Tip number 4 for sinus headaches is to get more natural sunlight exposure, especially in all times of the day. So what I mean here is getting that first early morning sunlight on your skin, in your eyes, definitely on your face to help with your sinuses. This is going to help to stimulate your vitamin D production later in the day when the UV is active, and then as the sun is setting. So that infrared and red rays from the sun are very healing to your lymphatic system and help to penetrate very deeply. Another great thing that you can do if you can't get into natural sunlight, and maybe it's not warm enough in the environment that you're living in, is to also try a FIR infrared sauna. Also, some red light therapy would be great here as well for those sinus headaches. And tip number 5 is to do some steam inhalation. So putting a few drops of eucalyptus essential oil is great into some steaming water, into a bowl, and then covering your head with a towel and inhaling that is a great way to help with those sinus headaches. And just make sure you keep your eyes closed because it can be really strong on your eyes. Now, I did mention a little bit about those probiotics, what to look for. I want you to check out my other video, 5 things you should know about probiotics. I'll see you there.